So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom and an update on some of the painting projects I've been working on the last few days, week or so, during this wonderful isolation period that we're continuing with. So I mentioned before, getting a little bit obsessed with medieval figures. Not sure why, but I am. And I have painted up some, well, these were actually military order knights from Gripping Beast, 28mm later period knights, and I've painted them up as Hospitallers. I don't know what it is. People get very excited about the Templars and the Teutonics and what have you, but the order that always interested me of all the three main military orders from Jerusalem were the Hospitallers. Don't know why, but they always did. I think maybe it's the red outfits, and I must have read a book as a boy that sort of got me excited about them. So I've painted them up this way. Now, I can honestly say they've been a right pain in the bum. Not because of the figures. I think they're absolutely fine. They're really nice figures. I quite like them. It's more around my difficulty in painting. So I wanted to put white crosses on the cloth barding of the horses, and also on the surcoats of the knights themselves. I've obviously got the transfers which are on the shields, which are fine, but I wanted to do quite an ornate cross on the chests of the horse, chests of the men, and the backs of the men. Excuse me. And I painted them all freehand, and I just thought they looked so awful. I then had to cover them again, and the trouble is it was really difficult to cover the colouring, so it took multiple recoats and what have you to hide that white cross on the horses and the men. So I'll keep an eye out if anybody's got any ideas of anybody who does white cross barding transfers. That would be fantastic. Let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to. The other thing I want to do is this guy here with the trumpet. I want to put a flag on his lance, which I'll do at some point when I find one I like the look of. So you know, they're pretty much done. Nice figures from Gripping Beast, nice variety. It's just 8 of them here. There's a couple of the guys who've just got, this one here's got sort of a leather barding on the front of its horse. This one's got leather barding on the rear of its horse and a chainmail guarding on the front. This guy's got no surcoat. He's just got you know, normal sort of plate and chain. And I've liberally used the red on some sort of colours on their helmets, as well as obviously their tunics themselves. I'm quite pleased how they've come out. I think they should be quite a good unit to see on the field, if we ever get back to playing toy soldiers again soon. So next up, first group of 8 British grenadiers from the Brigade Games Kickstarter AWI project, and really nice figures, really like them. I think I mentioned when I was showing some of the other figures in this range that I'd got and painted up, and also when I unboxed them, link here if I remember. My criticism of these is they're very, very soft. They're very soft metal, and the weapons bend. Look how easily that bends, and that's going to be a problem, I think, as time goes by. So that's my one criticism, I think. And I suppose the other one is they're quite tiny figures. They're quite small, probably 25 mils rather than 28 mils. Oops, that doesn't help if I knock them on the table. But that said, they're nice figures. I find painting British figures with the red and white quite tough, but these have come out okay, just okay. I see so many people who do some absolute wonderful works of art with these figures. I always feel very jealous, but they'll do. Nice to get them done. I've got another 16 to do of this group, and then I need to move on to some regular infantry for that project. Plenty more to do. So I did a video the other day showing me painting up 6 Black Scorpion miniatures, some of the mercenary troops that I picked up in my virtual salute shopping sprees. And in the packs, so there were four figure packs, 2 of them each, and they had 2 figures which I didn't think really fitted within the sort of what I'm planning to use those figures for, which is to join my growing medieval retinue bands. On top of the 6 figures you saw me paint up in that, if you've seen that video, there was this archer who was a really nice figure. Really liked him a lot, and I think I'm going to use him in my medieval archer group, even though looks like a compound bow rather than a proper long bow or short bow that medievals would have used. And then this lady figure, lady adventurer stroke warrior. So I just painted her up. I think I'll probably put her on eBay, see if there's any interest. She seems to be cleaning her rather large sword with a cloth. Seemed to be it. I don't think it was flash, but it seemed like it. That's what the model seemed to be representing. So it's a nice figure. In fact, they're both nice models. I thought all those black scorpion figures were fantastic. Really liked them. Resin, and they have a lot of detail. But say, not necessarily proper wargaming figures, more proper wargaming, listen to me, historical gaming figures is what I meant, as opposed to fantasy. I've also got this dude here, who I just thought was awesome. There's another one of their models. I'll paint him up in time. Don't know what I will do with him, but I just thought he was a really nice model. So there you go. More done. So as well as that, my ongoing English Civil War project continues. This is another pike regiment done. I'm sort of continuing that sort of colour scheme process that I was describing in an earlier video, where I'm just using different colours to reflect the different regiments. So this is the green regiment, and I'm quite pleased how it came out. These are largely warlords metal, what do they call it? Armoured pikemen. So they all have cuirasses on, almost the metal ones do, and then there's a couple of extra figures just to make up the 16 I need for the unit that are more conventional plastic figures from the Warlords pack. I think just the effect's great. I like the dynamic poses they've got with their pikes at various levels. Now the only thing is that they don't send you pikes with the with that unit. If they did, mine have dropped out years ago, so I had to supplement them with some metal spears I had, so consequently these are bloody sharp. But I like the effect. Again, it'll be just another regiment to join the Royalist army that I have. Well, it's Royalist mainly, unless I happen to need to play them as parliamentarians. So pike require shot to go with them, and as was mentioned before in other videos for my project, I'm doing 16 pike and then 2 units of 12 musketeers to accompany them. So these are the Green Regiment musketeers. They're all mixed bag. There's some renegades in there, renegade models. I think that one is there. There's a couple in this unit as well. Then some Warlords plastics of various descriptions, some from the storming party, some from the regular party, just basically odds and sods to make up the unit. And I'm quite pleased again. The effect is good. I always think pike and shot looks so good en masse on the tabletop. So that's another regiment cracked out, and it's one off the pile. So I think I've only got one more regiment of foot to complete. I've got probably a couple of dragoons and a couple of cavalry to finish off. Although annoyingly, I unpacked my cavalry that I need to do, next unit to produce, and discovered that one of the riders is missing. Now I know it was sent to me in the order, but it's dropped out somewhere, so I'm going to have a real hunt around, because that's annoying the bejesus out of me. I've got 11 men and I should have 12. Got 12 horses, but only 11 men. Never mind. So, sneak peek of HMS Victory for the Black Seas units. Mainly because Ken from Miniature Wargames Group has been badgering me about finishing this model off, because I mentioned a few weeks ago now that I'd partially done it. He challenged me on one of our weekly streams, 8 PM UK time, Monday nights. Join us if you can, on YouTube, streaming on both of our channels, usually with a special guest. We had Leon, we've had who else we had? Liam joined us from Ken's channel, and so yeah, and then more guests will be forthcoming hopefully at some point, but please come along and join us if you can. Anyway, by the by, he's been badgering me about finishing this model off. I'm nearly there. I need to put the sails and the rigging on. I've also got to finish off, the anchors need to go on. I'm not sure quite where I'm going to put them yet. I'm sort of inclined not to include the anchors, mainly because I think they just sort of look too big on a tiny ship like this. I mean, I know they would be big. They are big. If you go down and see HMS Victory, you can see the anchors there. They're huge. But you know, it's a model, and I have to say this is a Warlords resin and metal model, and I'm not very impressed with it. The resin hull is absolutely fantastic, but I'm not even going to. Well, I don't really want to do this, but I'm not going to do it because I'm so frustrated with them already. The masts are such soft metal that they bend so easy, and as you can probably see, as I'm trying to put them in, they've bent slightly, and I've tried to straighten them. You know how you never manage to straighten soft metal properly, not 100%. I'm hoping a lot of it will be hidden when the sails go on, but yeah, frustrating as hell. I had it all assembled and then banged into it with my elbow and knocked the whatever this front bit is here off, so I've had to re-glue that. I have to say, it's not been fun pulling this together, and I haven't even started the rigging, which is usually the worst bit. But as I've done with all my ships for Black Seas, I'm just going to keep it really simple with the rigging. I'm not going to do the whole involved process that they showcase on their website and people have shown in videos. For me, it's just too much. But I'm reasonably happy with the effect. You know how it is when you're frustrated with a model and you're painting it and it just doesn't seem to be coming off right. You can never really see beyond the imperfections and things you're not happy with. So I'm a bit like that with this model. Maybe in time things will, you know, my feelings with it will improve. But and of course, once it finally does see the high seas on the tabletop, you know, I might be delighted with the effect of this 100-gun warship, first class British, obviously first class British ship of the line, and it has all sorts of special national characteristics, being a named ship. Yeah, so the hull is lovely, and I do like Black Seas, and I really hope we can get back to playing it sometime. So there you go, there's my look into what I've been working on. Feels like it's not been as productive as the last few weeks, but I guess it has. It's just sense of scale, mainly because I've been working through that ECW unit took quite a bit of time up, and also actually filming and editing that video for taking those six miniatures and painting them up in 3 hours and 20 odd minutes took quite a lot of time out of my sort of normal painting schedule. So I think it's been okay, and I'm pleased to finally have pretty much done HMS Victory. I'm not going to be rushing to do the HMS Sovereign and the other first class model that I've got anytime soon, but at some point they'll have to be done. And maybe when I'm back to playing Black Seas, I'll be more encouraged to deal with these units, because they are, as I said, a little bit fiddly. Well, more than a little bit fiddly. Anyway, hope you're all well. Hope you're staying safe. I hope you're managing to work through your projects. Loving all the video content that's coming through. I did read somewhere that I did read somewhere that YouTube views and watches are up by 75%. I did read somewhere that YouTube viewings are up by 75% in some cases. So I'm certainly grateful for all the new subs I've had, which I guess is the the lockdown blues. People were looking for new content, new things to watch. So welcome to everybody who's joined recently. Appreciate everybody clicking on that subscribe and a notification button. And hopefully at some point we'll be getting back to some battle reports. I have actually found some footage of a couple of old games, which I'm going to try and edit into something. One I know will make a reasonable video, the other one I'm not entirely sure it's enough footage there, and it wasn't a particularly great game, so I don't know whether I'll bother with that, but we'll see. But it may be I can find some old footage that I can upload to the channel for those who need our battle report fixes, because I think it sounds like wargaming clubs, certainly in the UK, are going to be far down the pecking order in terms of getting back to normality and meeting up again. Maybe we'll do some, small-scale games of one-on-ones and what have you in home venues in the meantime. We'll see. Anyway, stay well, stay safe, and I will see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.